everyone. Welcome. Quick video we're doing here. This is Valkyrie Investment Group. My name is Chris Laverick. We got Ashton Laverick on as well. And we're just going to jump into a quick topic we've been hearing a lot about. It got a lot of traction on Bigger Pockets and some of the other forums we introduced it on. But it's the idea of how do you get into multifamily? How do you get into apartment syndication? And so Ashton's going to dive into the three top ways that we see this happening, and we'll go into what we use to get into the business.
Yeah, thanks, man. One of the things, definitely we get asked this all the time. So the first one is paid mentoring, like buying into our mentorship. The second one is doing it yourself, figuring it out as you go, and then getting into multifamily syndications by yourself, really. And then the third one is either actively investing as a general partner on a deal or becoming a limited partner on the deal and learning through and getting into it that way. And just real quick, we're going to go back and there's pros and cons to each one. So each one could be different or appealing to different people. But Chris, you want to talk about the first one?
Yeah, sure. So if typically when people are trying to get into multifamily syndication, you want to learn from someone who knows the business, who is experienced in it. It can speed up a lot of things. So we'll just go over the pros. And the first one, of course, is buying a mentorship. You can, of course, find a free mentor, but that can be kind of rare, and really that's really hard. You might be looking for that for a while. So typically, you can pay for a mentorship. You're going to get access to their network, their experience, their training. They're going to have training modules. They're going to be able to coach you. But then you're also going to get access to all their network of property managers, of contractors, and all that. So it can really skyrocket your growth as far as getting into the multifamily business because you're learning from someone who's already doing it successfully, and you have access to all the tools and the network.
And then on the flip side, I think some of the biggest con, and this is where a lot of people get hung up, is I don't have the 10, 15, 20, 50,000 to buy into a mentorship. Plus the fact that now that you've bought in, there's no guarantee that you're going to find and be able to execute on deals just because someone has given you all this information. So while it's all there, they're going to give you some great information and training and everything. The con to it is you're paying for it and you still have to take that action. But moving on to the second one, this is actually where Chris and I started. We started on our own, investing in small multifamilies on our own. And I can tell you there's a ton of pros and cons to this one too. It's higher risk, but it's higher reward. And then something we always say in the military too is the hardest lessons are learned in blood. But all that means is you remember those lessons more because it happened to you. And so you make those mistakes as a new guy, figuring it out as you go alone, like we did. And you remember those lessons well. But I think, the high risk, high reward would be, that's why people, and less cost, obviously. Chris, you have anything on that one?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Pros, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to remember it a lot more. Cons, you're going to learn a lot because there's going to be a cost associated with that learning. It will possibly slow down your growth depending on, how quickly you're able to adapt and scale on your own. So that's really all on you. That's pretty much it. It's a great method too, but it's got some bumps along the way.
Yeah.
The third method that I see a lot of people doing this is they invest passively into a deal. So they invest passively into a syndication, and they let it be known and they voice that they want to learn the business. They want to be involved. And thus they get to see all the documents. They get to sometimes they might even be invited to walk the property, do the due diligence with the active sponsor, which is a great place to be. The risk and responsibility is not on them anymore. As an active investor, they can freely make those mistakes or walk through their mistakes on their analysis or their paper, and it's not going to hold the deal up. They're still getting a return while they get to see how the whole thing plays out, which is really cool. And that I see a lot of syndicators doing that to get into multifamily. Yeah,
and to expand on that too, I mean, there's nothing to say that you can't come in as a general partner too. If you have a certain set of skills, not to quote, that movie, but if you have a certain set of skills and you have value to the team that's putting the deal together, you very may well be asked to come on as a general partner. And so that's a possibility as well. And that's actually so we may have started at started on our own, but we actively, developed a skill, and then we were asked to come in on a syndication as a general partner because they saw we were good at what we were doing. So that is another way too. So either have a skill or have capital to come in as a general partner or as a limited partner. But either way, the learning curve is accelerated, and you're earning something when you do something like that too, which is awesome. So
awesome. So to recap, three ways to usually get into multifamily syndications. You got the paid mentorship. A lot of pros and cons there. Access to the network. Con, you're going to be spending money. That's what that is. So the second way, of course, doing it actively. You're going to learn. You're going to remember most, but you're also going to get a couple bumps along the way. Maybe lose some money, but you're learning and you're going to remember those, and you're going to scale. The third way is doing it passively. Low risk, low responsibility, because you get to watch someone else. You get to learn along the way. You're getting the return. So those are the three typical ways we see, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.